Okay, this video is going to be about things you can do if you're outside and you might be in an area that's not quite safe, to keep yourself safe, being vigilant. And the main idea behind this video really is not to make yourself an easy victim of crime. So what I'm sort of saying by that is obviously it's fairly straightforward, but don't do anything that would put you at risk or make you an easy target. So you can look at this two ways with your house, because we were discussing this in one of Weapon Collector's videos, sort of on his live streams. There's lots of things you could do, like having good gates on your house, having really good locked secure doors, having security lights. If you don't want to go with security lights, you can also go with like what works like the same as a security light, it's passive infrared, but rather than setting a light off, it sounds an alarm that you can have plugged into your house somewhere. So that would be good if you live in a nice rural area where it's not like you're going to have people walking past your driveway now and again anyway. You can have these sort of things that you could surround your house in a perimeter with it, and then if somebody walks into that, it would set the alarm off. Then you can look out your window and see what's there. If you don't want to do it that way, security lights are great. If somebody's coasting out houses to rob, if they go up the drive of one and a load of floodlights come on, they're probably going to pick an easier target. So this is the thing, you can't always make yourself totally safe from criminals and things, but you can certainly reduce the risks by making you seem the hardest target. Because with a lot of these things, it's sort of the risk-reward. The lowest risk of the highest reward is the best thing. If you make yourself a high-risk target to the criminal, not high-risk yourself, but obviously it's more risky for them to break in, then obviously that's going to help you. So what would, going away from in your house, obviously, what would be a good thing if you're out and about to reduce the chances of you being attacked and things like that? Well, as well as having self-defense items that we can't, for the purposes of this video, because I'm in the UK, call self-defense items because of how bad our laws are, what could you carry on you, that could be used in self-defense if it came to that? Something like a tactical pen. There's lots of videos where this has gone over, so I don't want to go over this too much, but keys on chains, tactical pens, the aluminium drinking water bottles or the steel drinking water bottles where you can grip it and use it as a bludgeon. Anything like that, they'd be good to carry on you, but this video isn't really about what could you use for self-defense, it's about things to avoid. So the main thing is be vigilant, right? If you're out and about anywhere, take note of who's about you. Is there anybody who looks particularly shifty and they're paying too much attention to you or other people and stuff like that? Because that could be somebody with bad intentions, like they're planning on mugging you if you walk a certain way. So if you're out and about in a city, for example, it might be a good idea not to walk down dark alleyways, especially if it looks like somebody's following you. Now, the big one I'll say is don't be doing this. Walking around with your face glued to your phone. I see so many people doing that. They would be so easy targets if somebody wanted to run up, hit them in the head, steal their phone or their wallet, whatever. If you're totally... Another thing is getting run over by cars. The amount of people that actually, get hit by cars or vehicles because they decide to walk across the road looking at their phone, not even looking both ways. The safe thing to do would obviously be look both ways, or even more times, walk across the road at a brisk pace but where you're not going to trip over. And that's the safe way of crossing the road. What's the dodgy way of crossing the road? Not looking both ways and staring at your phone. Maybe with earphones in as well, so you can't even hear anything. That's another one. Earphones in, so you can't hear anything that's going on. You've got music really loud. You're totally, out of it. In terms of being aware of what's going on in your surroundings, you'd be a very easy target. Now, what you can do, of course, is listen to music at a low volume, so you're perfectly aware of what's going on around you, but you've got your earphones in. So that's one thing you could do. You can also I've got these somewhere like cycling headphones, but they don't actually go into your ears. They sit there. I think Jawbones is one of the brands, is it? But yeah, I can't remember the names of all the things, but there's like things that will go there and they vibrate through your jaw. It's a really interesting way of listening to music, especially if you then put earplugs in so you can't hear any external sound, but you can hear this quite well. Now, that's getting a bit off topic, but they're another thing again you could use if you want to be able to listen to music and things like that, but without putting yourself at risk. But don't listen to things at such high volumes that you can't hear anything normally. And obviously don't walk around staring at your phone, that's big ones. If you're in a building as well, this isn't necessarily even to do with people attacking you, but be aware where the exits are, like fire exits in case there's a fire and you need to get to an exit or some other event. And as well, especially if it was a terrorist attack or something like that, if somebody runs in with a gun or a knife, and starts attacking people, you know where the exits are. Things like that. There's lots of things like that you could pay attention to. But the point I really want to stress is don't make yourself an easy target. Like I said, I used to wear a stab vest when I went to work, and that was simply because the area got a bit too dodgy, and you'd often have, especially if you're waiting at a bus stop, you would have, I wouldn't say they were actual tramps, but, you know, I wouldn't say, what I'm saying is I wouldn't say they were genuine homeless people, but you'd get lots of probably like crackheads, junkies, that beg for money so they can get heroin or whatever, and then probably have some place they squat. And they would be normally the most violent ones that would come up to you. They might politely make a sob story up to start with, and then they get very angry if you wouldn't give them money. What I used to do, because I said I'd be vigilant, is if you saw one of them coming to the bus stop and your bus was still a few minutes away, I'd do like a circular walk. I'd walk up to one road, round, and then back, and by the time you got back, you still might have a bit of minutes, you know, to spare or whatever before the bus came, but hopefully they'd already walked off because they'd finished harassing everybody at the bus stop. Again, that worked most of the time, but there could be times, you know, where somebody would try and hit you if you wouldn't give them money or something like that. So, and again, not walking down dodgy alleyways. When I would get the bus, there was a couple of routes I could take. The most direct one was down an alleyway, but you'd actually get people shooting up down the alleyway. So again, not a good idea to walk down there. But some people still would get attacked and things like that, or get robbed, or, you know, they'd be worse for wear regardless, even if they got out of there with themselves intact and their money intact. But the point is that there's lots of situations where being aware and all stuff like that can be quite helpful. So that's how you don't make yourself an easy target. Of course, there could be some horrible event happens where somebody randomly pulls out a gun and shoots you before you can react. You know, or you could be hit by a car crossing the road even if you've looked both ways and things like that. And somebody could still break into your house even if you've got all the security systems set up and whatever else. But the point is, you're not making yourself an easy target by doing this. So that's the thing, stay safe and stay vigilant. You know, that's the main thing really as far as I'm concerned, is the amount of things that could probably be avoided if you're paying attention is much better than simply, you know, not paying any attention and then becoming a victim. So better safe than sorry, you know, always be aware of who's around you, you know, traffic, even things just like I was saying with traffic. Be aware how busy the road is before you cross it, it's another big one. But in terms of staying safe, I think a lot of it is to vigilance and then just being precautious if you think something might happen. Of course, there'll be plenty of people who might look shifty and they're totally innocent, but at the same time, do you really want to walk very close to somebody coming down the pavement the other way, muttering to themselves, you know, maybe fidgeting, doing something like that? So that's the point, you know. Stay safe and vigilant, and you're probably going to be a lot better off than somebody who just walks around on their phone like that.